In the vast expanse of the galaxy, the Galactic Council reigned supreme. Composed of the most advanced species in the known universe, it was a beacon of order and control. For centuries, the Council had maintained peace and dominance through diplomacy, manipulation, and, when necessary, military power. But now, a new problem had emerged: humanity. It began innocently enough. Humanity's rapid technological advancement had caught the attention of the Council, but it was their unyielding resolve and unpredictable nature that posed a serious threat. Earth's discovery of faster-than-light travel had been the tipping point. The human race had become an unknown variable, one that could potentially challenge the established order. But it wasn't just their technology that concerned the Council, it was their spirit. Across countless worlds, the Council had witnessed the rise and fall of empires. The galaxy's most powerful species had all been brought low by their own hubris, their complacency, and their inability to adapt. Humanity, however, had proven to be an anomaly. Even when faced with extinction, humans found a way to survive. No alien race had ever experienced the kind of resilience that humanity displayed. And for the Council, this was unacceptable. A covert meeting was held among the Council's most influential members, representatives from the Riva-Can, the Jalar, and the Kirik species. The Riva-Can, with their vast intelligence and long lifespan, argued that humanity posed a growing threat to the stability of the galaxy. The Jalar, known for their militaristic prowess, suggested immediate eradication. And the Kiriks, an ancient and enigmatic species, recommended a more subtle approach, undermining humanity's unity from within, breaking their resolve before they could spread beyond Earth. After long deliberation, the decision was made. Earth would be eradicated, not through direct force, but through deception, manipulation, and sowing chaos among humanity. The Council would act in the shadows, pulling the strings of governments, corporations, and even powerful individuals. They would plant the seeds of war and unrest, ensuring that humanity's self-destructive tendencies would do the job for them. It would be the perfect solution, a war that would destroy Earth without the Council ever firing a shot. The plan was set in motion. An elite team of alien operatives, handpicked for their skills in infiltration and subterfuge, was dispatched to Earth. Their mission was clear: destabilize the human race, create a global crisis, and prepare the world for the final blow. Unbeknownst to the Council, however, a few humans had already begun to notice the oddities surrounding the growing instability on Earth. Across the globe, strange events were taking place. Corporate executives, once allies, were suddenly at odds. Political leaders found themselves caught in bizarre scandals, and military movements seemed out of place. The seeds of paranoia were being planted. Among the chaos, a former military strategist named Jonathan Rios was the first to put the pieces together. A former intelligence officer with a knack for seeing patterns, Rios noticed the connections between the chaos and a series of cryptic messages he'd intercepted. As his investigation deepened, he began to suspect that Earth's problems weren't entirely self-inflicted. In the quiet corridors of power, humanity's fight for survival had already begun. And the Council had no idea that it was about to face its greatest mistake. The conspiracies were unfolding on Earth, but the true nature of the threat was still hidden from most of humanity. Governments scrambled to contain the chaos, but the instability was growing too rapidly, and the cause remained elusive. As tensions mounted globally, the Galactic Council's agents, hidden in plain sight, began executing their mission with terrifying efficiency. The first strike came in the form of a devastating cyber attack. Critical infrastructure across Earth began to crumble in the blink of an eye. Power grids across continents were systematically disabled, causing widespread blackouts that paralyzed entire cities. Stock markets crashed as financial systems went offline, plunging the world into a state of economic freefall. Transportation networks ground to a halt, leaving millions stranded in a world suddenly devoid of order. At first, the people of Earth believed they were simply victims of a massive coordinated cyber-terrorist attack, but the strange and seemingly random nature of the event suggested something far more sinister. Governments reacted swiftly, declaring states of emergency in the hope of maintaining control. The global leaders insisted they would restore stability, but panic spread quickly. The financial markets were in turmoil, and the people of Earth felt the first bite of a global crisis unlike any they had ever faced before. What humanity didn't know was that the Galactic Council was not content with merely destabilizing Earth. Their agents were already working to manipulate world leaders, subtly pushing them toward more extreme policies. The military-industrial complex began to heat up as various factions within Earth's power structures began to shift allegiances. The Council's operatives planted false information, pitting nations against each other and escalating conflicts. But the Council's plan had one flaw: humans weren't easily manipulated. Among the chaos, a resistance began to form. Jonathan Rios, the former military strategist who had been piecing together the covert alien conspiracy, was now working in secret with a small but determined group of allies. They were scattered across the globe, from former soldiers to tech experts, united by one goal: to uncover the true cause of the worldwide collapse. Rios had started to understand the pattern behind the attacks. The alien agents were skilled in their methods, but they underestimated the resourcefulness of humans. Every time they struck, the world's tech experts, military veterans, and analysts quickly began to adapt. Rios's team discovered traces of alien tech hidden in the compromised systems, a sign that their enemies were not just cyber-terrorists but highly advanced extraterrestrial forces. With this new information, Rios and his team started working tirelessly to uncover the full extent of the Council's plan. They knew that time was running out. If the aliens were allowed to continue their operation unchecked, humanity might be doomed. The stakes were higher than anyone could imagine, and the resistance needed to act fast. As Earth's military forces struggled to regain control of the situation, Rios's group worked in the shadows, gathering intel and sabotaging the alien agents' efforts. Their first success came when they managed to intercept a transmission from one of the Council's operatives. The message, encrypted in a complex alien language, hinted at something far worse than just an economic collapse. The transmission spoke of a final strike, the total eradication of humanity. The Council had grown impatient with the slow destruction of Earth and had decided to initiate a more direct approach: an invasion. A fleet of warships, poised at the edge of the galaxy, was preparing to descend upon Earth, ready to wipe out the entire planet in a single, devastating blow. Rios knew this was no longer just about preventing a cyber attack. Humanity's survival was at stake. The resistance could no longer afford to stay in the shadows. They had to take the fight directly to the invaders. Rios sent an encrypted message to the leaders of several nations, secretly calling for a unified response. The information he had gathered was enough to convince the most skeptical among them. The alien threat was real, and the time for secrecy was over. Earth's forces, already strained by internal chaos, would have to come together for a common cause. With the knowledge of the coming invasion in hand, the resistance began planning. They knew the alien fleet was massive, but they also understood one critical thing: humanity's greatest strength was its ability to adapt and innovate. If they could just delay the Council's forces long enough, humanity's ingenuity might be the key to winning the war. The Council had underestimated humanity once again. The first wave of their plot had begun to falter, and Earth's resistance was already preparing to strike back. The Galactic Council had long underestimated humanity's capacity for resilience, and now, as the alien operatives moved closer to their goal, the scales of fate were beginning to tip in humanity's favor. Earth was on the brink of disaster, but a group of determined individuals, led by Jonathan Rios, had uncovered the truth. What the Council did not anticipate was the speed at which humans adapted, or their unshakable resolve in the face of annihilation. Rios's resistance network had grown from a handful of people to a global underground movement, united by a single, irrefutable truth: the Council wanted Earth gone, and humanity would fight until the last breath to stop it. Though the world's governments were still reeling from the chaos unleashed by the alien agents, the resistance had found ways to disrupt the Council's operations. Rios had been working tirelessly, coordinating with military experts and hackers, deciphering alien technology and strategies to stay one step ahead of the invading force. It was during one of these covert operations that humanity scored its first victory. The resistance had tracked down the location of a high-ranking alien operative, an individual who had been quietly orchestrating much of the chaos on Earth. A plan was set in motion. A team of resistance members would infiltrate the facility housing the alien commander and capture them, hoping to extract vital intelligence about the Council's next move. Under the cover of night, the resistance forces deployed their most experienced operatives. Using guerrilla tactics, they bypassed the heavily guarded perimeter and infiltrated the facility. Despite their advanced technology, the alien agents proved to be vulnerable to human ingenuity. The resistance team used a combination of homemade EMP devices and repurposed alien tech to disable security systems, steadily advancing through the complex. When they finally reached the alien commander, a chilling realization struck them: this operative was not just an ordinary agent but a key player in the Galactic Council's plans. The intelligence they would extract from this being could change the course of the war. But capturing the alien was no easy task. The commander, an alien species known for their cold intelligence and ruthless efficiency, had expected an assault. She fought back with a savage ferocity, using every weapon at her disposal to try and escape. It was Rios who finally cornered her, relying on his tactical expertise to exploit the alien's overconfidence. He knew her species' weaknesses better than she anticipated. The battle that ensued was fierce, but ultimately, the resistance succeeded in capturing the commander alive. She was taken back to a secure facility, where the resistance would interrogate her. For the first time since the beginning of the chaos, humanity had something the Council desperately needed to control: vital intelligence. The captured commander revealed shocking details about the Council's plans. Earth's destruction was not merely a side operation, it was a central goal. The Council was ready to invade in full force, and their fleet was already en route to Earth. But the intelligence didn't just outline the impending invasion, it also revealed critical vulnerabilities in the alien fleet. The Council's ships, despite their advanced technology, were reliant on a specific energy source that could be sabotaged. The Resistance now had the means to potentially cripple the Council's entire invasion force before they even set foot on Earth. The capture of the alien commander was a turning point. It wasn't just a victory, it was a declaration that humanity would not go down without a fight. The Resistance quickly mobilized, using the new intelligence to begin counterattacking. They focused on developing advanced weapons and technologies to exploit the weaknesses in the Council's fleet. Rios personally oversaw the operation, coordinating with top scientists and engineers to develop countermeasures against the alien weaponry. But the victory did not come without consequences. The Galactic Council had long been aware of the potential for human resistance, but this was the first sign that their carefully laid plans were beginning to unravel. Furious at the loss of one of their commanders, the Council issued a new directive: humanity would be eliminated, no matter the cost. At the same time, the Resistance's success sparked a new wave of hope across the globe. Ordinary people, once unaware of the alien threat, began to rise up in defiance. The Resistance network exploded in size, as millions of people around the world joined the fight against the invaders. What had started as a small group of rebels was now a global movement, uniting humanity in the face of extinction. With the alien fleet fast approaching, the stakes could not have been higher. The battle for Earth was just beginning, but humanity had proved something crucial: the Galactic Council had gravely underestimated them. The tension in the air was palpable. Across the globe, every human nation now knew the truth: Earth was facing an invasion, and the Galactic Council's fleet was on its way. The quiet whispers of a conspiracy had transformed into a deafening roar of panic and fear, but there was something else, something far more powerful than fear itself. Humanity was united in its defiance. The Galactic Council had thought their plan would unfold without resistance. They had expected humans to fold in the face of overwhelming force. But they were wrong. The capture of their high-ranking commander had given humanity a chance they were not about to squander. Earth's military was in shambles, overwhelmed by the chaos of the last few months, but now the planet's fragmented forces were being pulled together in a way they never had been before. Nations that had once been rivals now worked side by side. Former enemies put aside their differences to fight the common threat. The Resistance, now a full-fledged global coalition, became the driving force behind humanity's defense. Jonathan Rios, the leader of the resistance, coordinated with military leaders, scientists, and engineers from every corner of Earth. The plan was simple but audacious: prepare Earth's defense, sabotage the alien fleet's advance, and take the fight to the stars. With the intelligence they had gathered from the captured alien commander, Rios and his team set to work. They developed specialized weapons that could penetrate the alien fleet's shields and exploit their weaknesses. The alien ships relied on an energy source that was highly unstable if disrupted. Humanity's engineers, using alien technology scavenged from previous attacks, designed specialized missiles capable of targeting the energy cores of the fleet's warships. The first strike came on a quiet, moonless night. As the alien fleet prepared to enter Earth's orbit, the Resistance launched a preemptive strike. A coalition of Earth's most advanced military forces, using a mix of newly acquired alien tech and human ingenuity, hit the fleet with everything they had. The battle was a brutal and chaotic engagement. The alien warships, enormous and nearly invincible in their own right, were met with humanity's defiance. Explosions rang out in space, and the sky over Earth became a battlefield. The humans' missiles, specially designed to breach the alien ships' shields, tore through the fleet's defenses. For the first time, the Council's forces were thrown into disarray. But the aliens were not easily defeated. The Council's fleet retaliated with deadly precision, launching waves of devastating laser fire and powerful kinetic weapons that obliterated many of Earth's defenses. However, despite their advanced technology, the alien forces began to feel the strain of the battle. They were not accustomed to this level of unpredictability. Humans, relentless and resourceful, fought with an intensity the Council had never anticipated. The skies above Earth became a war zone, and humanity's fate hung in the balance. The initial victory was hard-fought but meaningful. It gave humanity a sense of hope and resolve. They had been outmatched in terms of technology and numbers, but they had something that the Council lacked: unity, courage, and an unwavering belief in their survival. Rios, now at the head of Earth's resistance, directed his forces from an underground command center, coordinating strikes with pinpoint accuracy. Though many of Earth's cities had been devastated by the conflict, the global coalition fought on. The Resistance's strategy was clear: wear down the Council's forces, sabotage their command ships, and, most importantly, delay the invasion long enough to give humanity a chance at survival. But the real turning point came when Rios and his team uncovered a new weakness in the Council's strategy. The Galactic Council's fleet had suffered heavy losses during the initial battle, and their supply lines were beginning to run thin. The Resistance now had an opportunity to strike at the heart of the enemy's operations. If they could cut off the Council's reinforcements, they might be able to end the war before it truly began. Using their knowledge of the alien technology and battlefield tactics, Rios launched a daring raid on a massive alien resupply station located on the outskirts of the solar system. The mission was dangerous, and the stakes could not have been higher. The station was heavily guarded, but Rios knew that this was their best chance to tip the scales in their favor. In a coordinated attack involving both military and resistance forces, they infiltrated the station and managed to disable the alien supply lines. The damage was catastrophic. Without the crucial resources the station provided, the Council's fleet would be unable to maintain its offensive. The invasion was grinding to a halt. But even as the humans celebrated this hard-earned victory, they knew that the real war was just beginning. The Council would not give up easily. The stage was set for a fight across the stars, one that would determine the fate of not just Earth, but the entire galaxy. The Galactic Council had made one critical mistake. They had underestimated the power of a united humanity. Now, the tables had turned. Humanity had proved they could stand toe-to-toe with the most powerful force the galaxy had ever known. The war was far from over, but the first major battle had been won. The war between humanity and the Galactic Council had reached a fever pitch. With the resupply station destroyed and their supply lines crippled, the Council's fleet was in disarray. However, this was only the beginning of what would become humanity's most desperate fight. Jonathan Rios stood in the command center, the weight of the war on his shoulders. The global coalition was pushing back hard, but the alien forces were relentless. Despite their recent setbacks, the Council was determined to destroy humanity. And now, they had something far more dangerous up their sleeve. The first sign that something was wrong came when Earth's military radar systems detected an anomaly in deep space. A new fleet, much larger and more heavily armed than anything the Council had sent before, was approaching the solar system at an alarming speed. Rios knew that the Council had been holding back. What they were about to face was a final, all-out assault on Earth itself. The new fleet, unlike anything humanity had ever seen, was a weapon of mass destruction. Its ships were enormous, armed with devastating energy weapons capable of reducing entire cities to ash in a matter of seconds. The Resistance's forces, though bolstered by recent victories, were ill-equipped to deal with such overwhelming power. Rios knew that this could very well be humanity's last stand. As the new fleet entered Earth's orbit, the sky was lit up with an ominous glow. The alien ships, designed for maximum destruction, began their descent toward the planet. They had come not just to conquer but to annihilate. Their command was clear: Earth's population was to be wiped out, its cities turned to rubble, and the survivors left to die. Rios, ever the strategist, immediately put the world's remaining forces into action. It was clear that a direct assault on the alien fleet would be futile. Instead, he devised a daring plan: use Earth's remaining military resources to launch guerrilla-style strikes on the Council's ships. If they couldn't win outright, they could at least delay the inevitable and buy time for a desperate final counterattack. The fight was brutal. Earth's forces were outgunned, outmatched, and outnumbered. The alien fleet unleashed wave after wave of destruction, reducing entire cities to smoking craters. The skies above Earth were filled with the roar of combat as humanity's ships fought valiantly against the unrelenting alien assault. But every victory came at a heavy cost. In the midst of the chaos, Rios received disturbing news: the Council had deployed a superweapon, a massive, world-destroying device capable of obliterating entire continents. The weapon was positioned on one of the Council's flagship vessels, a behemoth of unparalleled power. If it fired, it would erase humanity from existence in an instant. With time running out, Rios realized that the only way to stop the superweapon was to infiltrate the alien flagship itself. But the flagship was heavily fortified, surrounded by an impenetrable shield and guarded by the best of the Council's forces. It was a suicide mission. Yet, Rios knew there was no other option. Humanity's fate depended on the success of this one final mission. Rios called together his most trusted allies, scientists, military leaders, and resistance fighters, to form a small strike team. Their objective was clear: infiltrate the flagship, disable the superweapon, and escape before the entire ship was destroyed. It was a mission no one expected to survive, but there was no time to waste. They had to act now, or Earth would be lost forever. The strike team embarked on their perilous journey, traveling through the black void of space to reach the flagship. They knew they were walking into a trap, but the need to stop the superweapon was greater than the fear of death. As they infiltrated the alien vessel, they encountered fierce resistance from the Council's elite forces. But the humans were relentless. Their ingenuity, resourcefulness, and sheer determination pushed them forward. Inside the flagship, Rios and his team fought their way to the control room, where the superweapon's core was located. The alien defenses were overwhelming, but the humans managed to breach the room. With seconds to spare, they sabotaged the superweapon, triggering a chain reaction that would destroy the flagship and its deadly payload. As the flagship began to implode, the strike team raced to escape. They had accomplished the impossible, but the price was steep. The flagship's destruction sent shockwaves through the alien fleet, throwing the Council into disarray. It was a blow to their pride and their military might, and though Earth's forces were still greatly outnumbered, they now had a glimmer of hope. As Rios and his team made their way back to Earth, they knew the battle wasn't over, but they had struck a critical blow against the Council's war machine. Humanity had survived the darkest hour. The final showdown was approaching, and Earth's forces, now emboldened by this victory, were ready to give everything they had left. The fight for Earth was far from over, but the first seeds of victory had been planted. Humanity had proven its strength once again, and now it was time to finish what they had started. After the destruction of the alien flagship, Earth's resistance and military forces rallied. The unimaginable had happened. Humanity had struck a devastating blow to the heart of the Galactic Council's fleet. The shockwave of the flagship's destruction had thrown the invaders into chaos, and for the first time, they were forced to rethink their strategy. But this victory came at a cost. The alien forces had regrouped, and now they were determined to obliterate Earth once and for all. The resistance, however, was not about to rest on their laurels. Jonathan Rios and his coalition knew this was the final battle. The Council's fleet had been weakened, but it was still massive, and the remaining ships were brimming with technology and firepower far beyond humanity's wildest imaginations. Time was running out. Rios stood in the command center, overlooking the remnants of Earth's shattered cities and the fighting forces preparing for the final assault. The war had taken a devastating toll, millions of lives had been lost, cities reduced to ashes, and hope had often seemed like a distant dream. But they were still standing. Humanity was not just surviving, it was fighting. Rios gathered his key commanders, engineers, and strategists. Their goal was clear: launch a massive counteroffensive, with the aim of breaking through the alien blockade around Earth and striking at the heart of the Galactic Council's command structure. If they could destroy the remaining fleet's leadership, the entire invasion force would crumble. The plan was nothing short of audacious. It would require every ounce of humanity's remaining resources. Rios and his team had worked tirelessly to prepare. They had developed new weapons, integrated more alien technology, and trained their forces for the most crucial operation of their lives. Earth's remaining military might was consolidated into a unified fleet, ready for a final assault that would determine the fate of the planet. The operation was codenamed Dawn's Last Light. It was a risky, dangerous move, and it was clear that many would not make it back. But they had no choice. This was their last chance to defeat the invaders and secure humanity's future. As the unified fleet launched from Earth's atmosphere, the resistance struck first. A series of coordinated attacks on key alien ships and command posts crippled the enemy's infrastructure, causing confusion and disarray among the invaders. With the alien fleet thrown into chaos, Rios's forces pushed forward, opening the way for the final assault. Rios's ship, the Vigilant, led the charge, cutting through the alien defenses like a blade through butter. The mission was simple: break through the blockade and target the Galactic Council's central command ship, the Sovereign. If they could destroy it, they would cripple the entire fleet. The battle that ensued was the fiercest humanity had ever faced. Alien warships, sleek and deadly, lashed out with incredible force. Every corner of space above Earth became a battleground as the human fleet pushed forward. The Vigilant weaved through blasts and explosions, evading enemy fire with human ingenuity and sheer willpower. On board, Rios and his crew fought with everything they had. This was their moment, the one they had been preparing for since the very beginning. The Galactic Council's ships, now on the defensive, attempted to regroup. The Sovereign, a massive ship capable of devastating planetary bombardment, remained at the center of the fleet, a fortress of alien power. But even with its imposing might, it was not invincible. Rios knew that the only way to win was to destroy the Sovereign's core. The superweapon aboard it had to be neutralized, or the entire galaxy would fall under the Council's tyrannical rule. As the Vigilant and other human ships broke through the blockade, Rios led a boarding mission directly onto the Sovereign. The battle was brutal as resistance fighters infiltrated the alien ship, pushing through its high-tech corridors with one goal: reach the control room. The alien forces, seemingly endless, fought back with savage efficiency, but humanity was fueled by more than just survival. They were fighting for their future, for their home, and for the freedom of every soul in the galaxy. Inside the Sovereign, Rios and his team fought their way to the heart of the ship. The corridors were narrow, the walls thick with alien tech, but the humans pressed on. They encountered fierce resistance at every turn, but their tenacity carried them through. With each alien they defeated, the countdown to victory grew closer. The core of the ship, a labyrinth of power conduits and control panels, was within reach. In the final moments, as the countdown to activate the Sovereign's weapon began, Rios made a desperate decision. With a team of explosives experts, he rigged the core to self-destruct, setting the alien ship on a collision course with the rest of the fleet. It was a gamble, one that could cost them everything, but it was the only way to ensure the Council's power was broken. As the explosion tore through the Sovereign, the shockwave rippled through space, sending a wave of destruction through the alien fleet. The remaining ships were scattered, their command structure in ruins. The Galactic Council, once so powerful and confident in their plans, was in disarray. The battle for Earth was over. Humanity had won. But the cost was heavy. The Sovereign's destruction had created a massive void in the heart of the enemy's forces, but the scars left on Earth were deep. The planet had endured unimaginable destruction, and the war had taken its toll. But despite the wreckage, humanity had proven something that no one, not even the Galactic Council, could ignore. Humanity was a force to be reckoned with. And no matter how powerful the enemy, no matter how many obstacles stood in their way, they would fight until the very last. The remnants of the alien fleet drifted in the vast emptiness of space, scattered and broken, its command structure crumbling after the destruction of the Sovereign. Earth, battered and scarred from years of conflict, was left in an eerie silence. The sky, once filled with the sounds of battle, was now quiet. The war was over. Humanity had emerged victorious, but at a tremendous cost. Jonathan Rios stood among the ruins of what was once a proud city. The streets, now quiet and empty, were littered with debris from the battles that had raged here. The world had changed. The Earth they had fought to protect was forever altered. Cities lay in ruins, and millions had lost their lives. But despite the destruction, humanity had risen above it. The resilience of the human spirit had proven stronger than any invading force. The global coalition, united through years of hardship, was now tasked with rebuilding. Leaders from every nation, every corner of the Earth, worked together to pick up the pieces and restore what had been lost. The world was no longer divided by borders or ideologies. Humanity was united, not just by necessity, but by something far more powerful, a shared history of survival. The message was clear: Earth would rebuild, and it would rise stronger than ever. The people who had once been seen as insignificant, weak, and easy prey had proven themselves to be anything but. They had stood up to the most powerful empire the galaxy had ever known, and they had prevailed. For Rios, the war had taken its toll. The loss of friends, comrades, and loved ones weighed heavily on him. But as he gazed out at the horizon, he saw something that filled him with hope, new life. Children played in the streets, their laughter a sweet reminder that the future was still bright. The world had endured, and it was now in the hands of a new generation, one that would grow up knowing that humanity was capable of facing the impossible. The Galactic Council, despite their technological superiority in vast resources, had underestimated humanity. They had believed that Earth would be an easy target, that the human race would crumble under the pressure. But they were wrong. Humanity had proven its strength, its ingenuity, and its unwavering will to survive. As the months passed, the world began to heal. The destruction caused by the war was repaired, and Earth's once fragmented nations came together to form a unified government. They shared resources, knowledge, and a common vision of peace. It wasn't a perfect world, but it was one that had been forged in the fires of conflict, a world that would never again be vulnerable to the tyranny of the Galactic Council, or any other empire that thought humanity could be conquered. The victory over the Galactic Council became a turning point in human history. Earth, once a small, insignificant planet on the edge of the galaxy, was now a power to be reckoned with. The lessons of the war were not forgotten, and humanity was determined to ensure that such a conflict would never happen again. The humans' defiance had sent a message across the stars. The galaxy, once a vast, untouchable realm of alien empires and strange worlds, now saw Earth not as a weak, isolated planet, but as a rising power. Rios, now celebrated as a hero, was among those leading the charge to ensure that humanity's place in the galaxy was not one of submission, but one of strength and respect. The final remnants of the Galactic Council's forces fled into the depths of space, their ambitions shattered, their empire in ruins. And though the Council's defeat was a monumental victory for humanity, Rios knew that this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, and countless other challenges awaited them. But Earth had learned a valuable lesson from the war: no matter how big or powerful the enemy, humanity would never back down. They would always fight to the last breath. As Rios stood on the balcony of the new Earth government headquarters, he watched as ships, constructed with human and alien technology alike, soared across the sky. Humanity was no longer confined to their homeworld. They were reaching out into the stars, exploring new frontiers and establishing relationships with alien species, not as conquerors, but as equals. They had proven that they could rise above adversity, and now, the stars were within their reach. Humanity had taken its place in the galaxy, not through fear, not through submission, but through courage and determination. The story of their survival would be passed down through generations as a testament to what was possible when a species refused to be broken. The Galactic Council had made the fatal mistake of underestimating humanity. They had thought that Earth was just another insignificant planet, one that could be easily erased. But they had learned the hard way that Earth, and humanity, would never go down without a fight. A new era had begun. And as the sun rose on Earth, Rios knew that humanity's place in the stars was secure. The future was theirs to shape, and they would make sure that the galaxy would never forget the strength of humanity's resolve.